Video opens with a wide shot of a serene, bamboo-lined dojo. Soft, traditional East Asian music plays. In a quiet dojo nestled among misty mountains, a legend was about to be born, though not in the way anyone expected. This is the story of Po, a panda whose heart was filled with the spirit of Taekwondo, but whose feet were filled with, well, mostly just fluff and a remarkable lack of coordination. We see Po, a chubby panda in a crisp white uniform, his white belt tied slightly askew. He takes a deep, focused breath, preparing for a simple front kick. He lifts his leg with intense concentration, but as he extends it, his other foot gets tangled, and he goes down in a slow-motion tumble, ending up as a heap of black and white fur on the dojo floor. He looks up, a piece of bamboo leaf stuck to his nose, and gives a sheepish grin. Master Sifu, a wise old red panda with a long flowing white beard, watched from the side, stroking his chin. He had seen many students, but none quite like Po. The young panda's enthusiasm was unmatched, yet his execution was a masterclass in unintentional comedy. A training montage begins, set to a more upbeat, slightly comical tune. We see Po squaring up to a thin wooden board, a look of fierce determination on his face. He yells, "Ki-hap!" and brings his paw down, only to have the board remain perfectly intact while he hops around, shaking his paw in pain. Next, he faces a heavy sandbag. He attempts a powerful roundhouse kick, but his momentum carries him into a wild, uncontrolled spin, like a furry tornado, before he collapses in a dizzy pile. Master Sifu simply sighs, taking a long sip of his green tea, his expression a perfect blend of patience and utter exasperation. The day of the annual regional tournament arrived, a grand event filled with skilled competitors and a cheering crowd. Po, by some twist of fate or perhaps a clerical error, was scheduled to compete. He stood nervously in the ring, his opponent a sleek, muscular snow leopard who moved with predatory grace. The gong sounded, and the leopard lunged forward with a flurry of precise kicks. Po, panicking, tried to remember his training. He attempted his most ambitious move, the legendary tornado kick. He leaped into the air, spinning with all his might. However, instead of connecting with his opponent, he just became a dizzy, spinning ball of fur. He lost his balance completely and began to fall backward. In a moment of pure, unscripted chaos, his flailing legs caught the snow leopard from behind, tripping him spectacularly. The leopard landed hard, knocked out cold. The crowd was silent for a moment, then erupted in thunderous applause. Po, dazed and confused, was lifted onto the shoulders of cheering spectators. He had won! He didn't know how, but he had won! Master Sifu watched from the sidelines, a slow smile spreading across his face as he shook his head in disbelief. Po became an overnight sensation, the unlikely champion celebrated for his revolutionary new style, which the papers dubbed Stumble Fu. He was living proof that sometimes the path to greatness isn't a straight line, but a series of clumsy, well-meaning, and ultimately triumphant tumbles. His victory was a testament to the idea that even if you can't quite land on your feet, you might just stumble into success. In the heart of the Valley of Peace, a new legend was born, not from years of disciplined training, but from a series of spectacular accidents. Pan, the clumsy panda, once a humble noodle enthusiast, had somehow become the celebrated master of Stumble Fu. His recent, albeit entirely unintentional, victory in the annual tournament had turned him into an overnight celebrity. A long line of aspiring warriors, from nimble monkeys to sturdy rhinos, now snaked outside the Jade Palace gates. They were all there for him, chanting his name, begging him to share the profound secrets of his unorthodox martial art. Pan, standing on the balcony, puffed out his chest, attempting a look of sagely wisdom. In reality, he was utterly clueless, his mind a complete blank on how he'd managed to win, let alone how to teach his supposed technique. The weight of his newfound fame soon became a heavy burden, especially when Master Sifu, with his characteristic stern expression, decided it was time for Pan to legitimize his title. He was ordered to teach a class. A wave of panic washed over Pan as he faced his eager students in the training hall. His first attempt to demonstrate a move involved what he hoped would look like a graceful leap. Instead, his foot caught on a loose floorboard, sending him tumbling head over heels into a stack of training dummies, creating a domino effect of comedic chaos. The students, however, saw this not as a mistake, but as the first lesson. They diligently tried to replicate his every stumble, leading to a symphony of fumbles, trips, and hilariously uncoordinated pratfalls. The training circus of well-intentioned but disastrously clumsy animals. Just as the chaos reached its peak, the doors of the hall swung open. There stood Kenji, a crane known for his precision, elegance, and deadly serious approach to martial arts. He had traveled from the northern mountains, skeptical of the tales of Stumble Fu. With a sharp glare, he issued a formal challenge to Pan for a duel in the main courtyard ring. Sheer terror gripped Pan. Facing a real skilled opponent was a nightmare he hadn't prepared for. His first instinct was to flee. As he turned to run, his foot kicked a wooden water bucket left carelessly near the ring. The bucket flew in a perfect arc, landing squarely on Kenji's head, momentarily blinding the graceful crane. Pan, still in a panicked scramble, then tripped over his own feet, curling into a ball and rolling uncontrollably toward his disoriented challenger. The impact sent the mighty Kenji spinning out of the ring, where he landed in a heap, completely knocked out. Silence fell over the courtyard, quickly followed by a deafening roar from the crowd. Pan, tangled in his own limbs, had done it again. He was hoisted onto the shoulders of his adoring students, who hailed him as the undisputed, undefeated master of Stumble Fu. They chanted his name, celebrating the Buckethead Strike and the Rolling Panda Assault as legendary techniques. From the steps of the palace, Master Sifu watched the spectacle unfold. He let out a long, weary sigh, shaking his head in utter disbelief as the entire valley celebrated the accidental triumph of their clumsy, clueless, and now legendary champion. The legend of Pan, the accidental master, was now more deeply entrenched than ever. In the tranquil valley of 1,000 whispers, where legends of martial arts were born and bred, there lived a panda known as the Grand Master of Stumble Fu. His name was Taekwondo, a title that promised immense skill and power. Yet, anyone who sought his wisdom would find him not in deep meditation, but perhaps hiding under a training dummy, or precariously balanced atop a stack of rice paper screens, trying to avoid his overly enthusiastic students. He was a grandmaster, yes, but his mastery lay in avoiding martial arts at all costs, a discipline he had honed to near perfection. His days were spent in a comical ballet of evasion, a stark contrast to the heroic image his title conjured. The dojo, a place of discipline and strength, became his personal playground for hide and seek. The peaceful absurdity of Taekwondo's routine was shattered one fateful afternoon with the earth-shaking arrival of Brutus the Bull. An intimidating mountain of muscle and fury, Brutus stormed into the dojo with a single purpose: conquest. He dispatched the revered Master Sifu with a flick of his wrist, casting the old master aside like a discarded bamboo shoot. With a thunderous voice that rattled the very foundations of the dojo, Brutus bellowed a challenge. He demanded a duel with the legendary Taekwondo Panda for control of the sacred grounds. All eyes turned to the trembling, black and white ball of fur who had just been discovered behind a large gong. Cornered and terrified, the panda saw no way out. With a gulp that echoed his profound dread, he had no choice but to accept the challenge, sealing his fate. As the duel began, Taekwondo did what he did best. He ran. There was no fighting stance, no warrior's cry, only pure, unadulterated panic. He scrambled away from Brutus, his clumsy feet finding every possible obstacle. His panicked escape, however, initiated a bizarre and beautiful symphony of destruction. A desperate slip on a freshly mopped floor sent him careening into a towering shelf of ancient scrolls and pottery, which toppled over and created an impromptu cage, momentarily trapping the charging bull. In his frantic attempt to find another escape route, Taekwondo leaped and grabbed onto a large decorative paper lantern hanging from the ceiling. He swung wildly, a pendulum of pure fear, until the rope snapped. The heavy lantern sailed through the air in a perfect arc, connecting squarely with Brutus's head with a comical bonk. The mighty bull's eyes rolled back, and he collapsed, out cold. A stunned silence fell over the dojo, broken only by the panda's heavy panting. He had once again saved the day entirely by accident. As his students and a recovering Master Sifu stared in awe, Taekwondo finally looked at the chaos he had created, not with fear, but with a glimmer of understanding. This wasn't just clumsiness, it was an art form. With Master Sifu's proud and slightly bewildered blessing, he decided to embrace his unique talent. He officially renamed his unorthodox style Clumsy Fu, a testament to the power of accidental grace. From that day forward, the Grand Master of Stumble Fu was no longer just a title of irony, but a badge of honor, celebrated throughout the valley as a true